Evening, Aaron Mathis alongside Greg Mathis, and we are live for the Stoddard County Fair Parade 97th edition in beautiful historic downtown Dexter right off Stoddard Street.
And they started about 6 minutes early on us. So let's get right to it. The Missouri flag and the United States flag has gone by, along with our 2024 parade marshal, Anthony Sifford. Anthony is a Puxico native. He's the son of Charlotte Sifford and the late Eddie Sifford. Anthony's a 1993 graduate of Puxico Senior High School. He's married to Kim Hare Connor. Anthony is the father to Isabella Sifford and Luke Connor. And Anthony is the community bank president of First Midwest Bank in Puxico, where he has been employed for the past 21 years. In November of 2022, Anthony had an extremely serious stroke. He spent 2 months in ICU, then 2 months in rehabilitation. He's still rehabbing 5 days a week, walking, exercising, building his strength up. And the one thing that I just found out today, Anthony has gone back to work about 2 months ago. He's working on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and his wife Kim told me that they give God all the credit for Anthony's healing. His rehabilitation is not over, but he's still making progress every day. Anthony had two choices. He could sit in his chair and feel sorry for himself, or he could put that Sifford work ethic to work and kick in and get with the program. And that's what he's certainly done. And I'm glad to see Anthony back up and going. Just an absolute wonderful person, big supporter of Puxico, their school, and everything about Puxico City.
A lot of people down Stoddard Street will be glad to see Anthony and Kim come by. Right behind them, we had the ambulance, Stoddard County Ambulance District. They are led by Mr. Chuck Casting now and Mr. Tyler Juden. Walking with them was the Dexter Fire Department passing out candy. Dexter Fire Chief is Mr. Don Seymour. Then you also have Mr. Dave Rowe and Landon Miller, Jeremy Freeman, a lot of the boys out there tonight walking alongside, passing out candy. Dexter and Stoddard County as a whole is lucky to have the emergency services that we have. We have nice equipment, whether it be with an ambulance district or local fire and police stations. We do all we can to keep those up. A couple trucks in line there for the fire department. Coming behind them is Dare. Dare is a big deal in Stoddard County. Lori Odell takes care of that in Dexter at Central Elementary. The fifth grade kids go through that program, and at the very end, they make a pledge and pass a test, and then they get a certificate. Lori's done that program for quite some time in Dexter. Following the Dare kids, we're going to have the Stoddard County Sheriff Department. Stoddard County Sheriff now is Mr. Carl Hefner. He just won re-election against Thomas Forkham in the August primary. Carl will not have an opponent in the November general election. Carl's been the Stoddard County Sheriff for 20 plus years now. Andy Holden is his chief deputy. And they have quite a few detectives on staff. They have a great communications department. Anytime you call up there, you're going to be able to get some help. Amy Holden is the main one in the communications department. She's been working up there for over 2 decades. I thank Carl and Andy for all they do for Stoddard County. His and Thomas's race was a close one, I think. If I can recall it off the top of my head, I want to say it was between 400 to 500 votes. Carl beat Thomas. This was Thomas's first election, and I was proud of them. They both kept it clean, and Thomas is on the Dexter police staff. Like I said, they both ran a good, clean race, and Carl was victorious. Coming behind the Stoddard County Sheriff's Department, we have the Ford Mobile Service, Bud Shell Ford. Bud Shell Ford has been a long time part of Dexter, Missouri. over 4 decades. They have a great service department. And right behind the Bud Shell Ford mobile service car, we have the Puxico Fire Department. Puxico just had their parade and fair about 3 to 4 weeks ago. And now it's the Stoddard County Fair and Parade's turn here at Dexter, Missouri.
Stoddard County is well represented with emergency vehicles. I know we're awfully proud of our fire departments and our ambulance district and all the work that they put in, the training. They're some of the top-notch people in the state of Missouri when it comes to doing what they do. All of our counties, their city councils, etc., put a high priority on equipment, training to make sure that their volunteers, and that's what the majority of these people are able to do the job when they're called on to do it. What all's going on tonight down at the Midway? We got anything in particular?
Tonight I've got the schedule of events right here. Tonight down at the Midway, we have exhibits open for viewing at 6 p.m. And then in Arena A, the FFA 4-H Tractor Rodeo. Entertainment on the main stage at 7 p.m. is going to be brought to you by Keyed Up. Each night, the gates open down at the Midway at 5 p.m. Admission for adults is $5. Kids 6 and under are free. On Saturday, the gates are going to open at 12 p.m. and the rides will begin at 1 p.m. All events down there are going to start at 7 p.m. unless otherwise noted. Each night down on the Midway, you'll be able to see Magic Mike the Magician and also the Robinson Chainsaw Carvers.
Well, like I said, this is the 97th edition of the Stoddard County Fair. I don't know if the parade's been going all those years. I know it definitely goes back into the 50s. I've got pictures seen of people. They really, back in the early days of it, did some very extravagant floats. Who we got going through now in the truck there? Is that the first queen or?
It is 2024 Miss Stoddard County Fair Queen, Brooklyn. Do not know Brooklyn's last name.
I don't know if it's Brooklyn or she got quite a crown there.
Right behind Brooklyn, we have the Republic Services that operate there off Highway 25 in Bloomfield.
No, Republic Services, they're putting a methane retrieval, plant out there at the landfill. And it's really quite an operation. They're going to take that methane and feed it into a giant pipeline that comes through the Dexter Stoddard County area. And it's not just a place where you put garbage. It's a very scientific operation.
And our first band coming up tonight is going to be the Bloomfield Wildcats. Their high school band, they won first place in the 2023 band competition. Bloomfield took first place in 2023, so they get to be the leader of the bands this year in 2024.
Well, right in front of them is the baby Miss Stoddard County Fair Queen, Riley Jo Ackman. I don't know, if a name like Ackman, you'd think she might be from the Essex area. But I'm just putting two and two together on that. Might be totally wrong. Who those people with the canines are behind there. I don't know what are they? Can't tell what they are. Like they're handing out some type of police information. I don't know.
Here on Aycorp Media on Friday night, Aycorp Sports is going to travel to Portageville and bring you the Scott City Rams versus the Portageville Bulldogs. So that coverage will start about 6:45 Friday evening on the Aycorp Sports YouTube channel.
Had an opportunity to watch Aycorp Sports the other night with the Bearcats, listening to Jim Riker and Bobby Alford. The quality of their television production is very impressive. I don't know how many cameras they had out there, but man, they were jumping around there. Very impressive. Uncle Barry does things right.
Uncle Barry and Aunt Michelle take care of Southeast Missouri. Our next queen down there, we have Lydia Hanner. She was the first alternate for the Miss Stoddard County 2024 Fair. Looks like she's won some other pageants as well, but Lydia Hanner's our next queen. Right behind her is Chandler Bates. Chandler is the 2025 USA National Miss Missouri Princess.
Well, what kind of car that is, I don't know if that's an old one or a new one. It just looks like an old one.
It's a Chevy something.
Nice looking. Well, we got is that Three Rivers cheerleaders in behind Chandler Bates?
We got the Three Rivers Raiders college cheerleading crew along with Rocky the Raider right behind Miss Bates.
I think I seen former Three Rivers Community College, Three Rivers College basketball player, Mark Gately. He walked in front of us a while ago. Mark is a Dexter graduate, 1976 Bearcat. Went on to play for Three Rivers and was a member of the national championship team.
1979.
1979. Mark played a pivotal role down the stretch. I can remember sitting there at, I believe I was over at Rob Bear's house that night. We were listening to that. And Gately put him on his back and carried him.
Cole Nichols, local Southeast Missouri product, is starting his second year over there for Three Rivers. Cole broke the Dexter scoring record at Dexter 2 years ago, once held by Mr. Brett Hale. Right behind the Raiders, we have the Dunklin County Transit. I think they operate out of Malden. You're able to call them and get you a ride anywhere in Dunklin County.
They also come up into Stoddard County quite a bit. They're all over. It's an absolute beautiful night here tonight. If we had a couple of clouds, it'd really be nice, but the temperature's not too hot. Occasionally get a little bit of a breeze blowing. I walked up and down Stoddard Street earlier, around 4:15. We're going to have a big crowd down through there. Big crowds coming out tonight. Everybody likes the parade. I think that D&K Towing and Recovery, he's going to give Dunklin County Tours a little bit of a push there if he gets much closer.
D&K Towing's out of Sykeston, Missouri. Looks like Daryl Abner is the driver. Daryl Abner for D&K Towing and Recovery out of Sykeston. They've got a couple trucks in here tonight.
They do a lot of work over in Stoddard County. It's quite a rig they have there.
The parade float categories, we have commercial, school category, and churches and other. First place wins you $150. Second place followed by $100. And third place will get $50 in each category. Members of the Stoddard County Fair Board, the chairman is Mr. Bobby Harmon. The vice chairman is Mr. Kevin Holman. Secretary is Miss Robin Davis Huey. And the treasurer for the Stoddard County Fair Board is Miss Jeannie Huey.
Done got my first text of the night. Said that the parade's going good. Able to see everything good on Aycorp Media from a good longtime friend, Rick Morrow. We all grew up together when the roads over western part of Dexter were gravel.
And it was Missouri Utilities instead of Ameren.
Yeah, that's it. He worked with Dad for several years. I think Dad taught him everything he knew.
Probably cussing you now.
Must have a log jam somewhere up the street. Things are starting to back up a little bit.
Behind D&K Towing and Recovery, we have McKinley Ray Vaughn. She is the first alternate of the Young Miss Stoddard County Fair, and she was second alternate in the Delta Fair. That's McKinley Ray Vaughn.
I don't want people to think our eyes are that good up here. We're sitting up on top of the funeral home here on Stoddard Street. We got binoculars trying to make out what's on those signs.
Hattie Rose Williams is behind Miss Vaughn. Then we have the 2024 Tiny Miss Stoddard County Fair Queen, Afton Fitz. And the 2024 Petite Miss Stoddard County Fair, Lakin Fitz in the white truck.
Welcome to Kick Country. Go see Mo Fiber. I won't see Lloyd Rice out there walking anywhere. He's probably inside where it's air conditioned.
Lloyd's set up shop at the Stoddard County Commission past couple months from reading the newspaper, it sounds like, trying to get Puxico some internet over there.
Well, I think he got the internet. I think Puxico's up and going from all the good reports I hear.
Good.
Go see Mo Fiber. They've took it and ran.
Coming up right behind Go SEMO, we have the Bernie High School Marching Mules. Bernie has a decent-looking band this year.
Listen to them for a second. See if they're going to play for us. What happened today exciting for Bernie? You have any idea?
I have zero idea.
Today, the former Bernie volleyball coach Bill Zoll and the 1994 through 1999 volleyball era teams were enshrined as members of the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. That happened today. And if I'm not mistaken, it might have happened at Cape Girardeau at the Show Me Center.
Congratulations to Coach Zoll and those teams. I know back when I was little, that's all you ever heard about during volleyball season was how good Bernie was.
Bernie was bad news. They come into town. They had the attitude.
I think Christy Whitehead played for them, maybe?
I think they're probably playing against them. I don't know if Hank Trout's wife played during that era or not. She played with some good teams. Oh, just got a text from my good friend Mary Green. She said Bill Zoll. She knew what happened.
Sparklight coming up behind. Bernie, go ahead and tell us. Finish that up.
Mary Green said, thanks to Aycorp Media and to you and Aaron for broadcasting the parade. Go Mules. Mary should have been a part of watching all those Mules volleyball games.
She's a big Mule supporter. Trying to read a shirt to tell you who the next group is. They're carrying some crosses. Show Me Jesus is the name of the group. Don't know where they're out of. Sure they'll be well supported here in the Bible Belt. Beautiful Dexter, Missouri tonight.
I know Brother Danny Craig from over at Essex. From Essex. He's Sykeston now. Joe Craig's brother. They used to bring a group over that carried the cross. I don't know if that's still part of them or not. I don't see him down there, and I'm just guessing. So well, here they are. It's coming up in behind. What's that say?
The trailer says carry the cross. We will not be undersold, SOULED, www.carrythecrossnow.com. Coming up behind the Carry the Cross, we have the First Assembly Church in Bloomfield.
The First Assembly of Bloomfield, if I'm not mistaken, they always bring a nice float up here every year. I get a little bit closer if I can see who some of the people are on there. Was that Pac-Man?
Yeah, looks like Pac-Man. Don't Stop Believing is the words wrote on the back of the float. Best of the 1980s.
Well, that one child there I'm looking at's got the red headband, got the 1980s hair. That's a lot of them do.
Don't Stop Believing, I'm sure, is referring to believing in the Lord. Also a Journey song back in the 80s.
Well, thank you. I was trying to think who sang that. Go back to the 70s and I would have known it.
Got to see Journey over at the Black River Coliseum back in 2003.
Very nice float. Those, I tell you what, folks, it takes some time to put these floats together. It really does. Then you got to drive them up here from wherever you're coming from, put them together, and get ready to get in the parade when they start sending you down the roadway.
Your Stoddard County Fair does the following things. They support our youth, promote community spirit, enhances Stoddard County's image, showcases Stoddard County agriculture, help put the county back into your fair. It's $15 to be a fair board membership. Anybody can turn in $15 and fill out a form and be a member of the Stoddard County Fair Board. They want to thank everybody for their support. It's not easy being a board member, I can assure you that. You have about 1,000 different people you're going to deal with, and you cannot make them all happy.
That is a fact. Those people are dedicated, and they put a lot of work in. That's volunteer work. They're not getting paid to do it. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. That's why they put Sam Huey out front and center. He's not as refined as most people. He's a little rough around the edges.
Here comes the Richland High School Rebels Marching Band.
The Richland Rebels. If you're a Richland Rebel out there, I want everybody to remember my good friend Addie Rashi. She's had some medical problems going on. I know there's been a lot of prayers been sent up for her, but she's absolutely bled Richland red and gray and white, or whatever your colors are. She's a rebel through and through. I've known that gal. Well, let me rephrase that. She's known me since I was brought home from the hospital. My grandparents lived next door to her. Who do we got Queen-wise coming up and through?
Got a big pink dress, and our sign is blocking for me seeing who the lady in the pink dress is. Back behind the red Jeep, we got Eric Paris driving a truck. You can see Eric at Autry Moreland in Dexter, Missouri. Let me see if I can see who's on the red Jeep.
What is Eric in that maroon and black?
Yeah.
That's a nice looking truck.
Avery Pierce is a preteen junior miss and also preteen Stoddard County first alternate. Avery Pierce. Back behind Eric Paris's Moreland truck, we've got another Jeep, and on there is Madeline Fouts. She won the Advanced Labor Day Fun Fashion Queen. Madeline Fouts. And we've got Ben Christian in the brand new 2025 GMC Yukon Denali. Ben is a stud golfer in Southeast Missouri. He won the SEMO Ball Golfer of the Year award a couple years ago. He was twice been to Springfield to play in Missouri's high school golf final. All-state golfer, I believe, 2 years in a row.
All-state golfer. Not only has been a good golfer, he's a good kid, or at least he is around us.
He acts like it around us, I think.
His mom, dad tells him to act right.
Got the Express Collision Center coming up behind young Mr. Christian. They're on Nina Street in Dexter. State-of-the-art repairs on all of your auto body needs. Right behind them, we have Moore's Automotive Group. They are on the outer road down there by where the Hickory House used to be.
That Dawson's place?
That's Dawson Moore's place.
Dawson sells a lot of cars. He stays quite busy. Dawson's a fine young man. Then you have the Stoddard County Democrats right in behind there. Looks like got Mike Maroney. He's carrying the sign. I think that's him.
Looks like we got somebody holding up Kamala Harris poster. Don't care what you say. Kamala Harris took it to Trump the other night on the debate.
Behind the Harris Walls float, got Donnie Hovis. Donnie's running for state representative to replace Herman Morris. Donnie and Steve Jordan will be our lone local election that we'll have in November.
There's not anybody
on them square off.
Yeah, there's not anybody else on the general election, is there?
Nope.
Local?
Not local, there's not. Just them.
Got Hyde's Termite and Pest Control right there in front of the Dexter High School Marching Band. Looks like that's the Dexter Middle School cheerleaders in front of the Dexter High School marching band. Dexter High School marching band is led now by Miss Samantha Barentine. This is her first year as director for the Bearcats. I've seen her do a couple Friday night performances. She's got the band going in the right direction.
But those band uniforms look rather warm.
They've been practicing all night. Last night when I went to the house, they were 8 p.m. and they were marching around Central Schools.
I was in band for 2 years, my 7th and 8th grade year. I just didn't carry it on. Well, thought they was getting ready to say a word or two for us. Was that a new Bearcat uniform? I mean, a mascot uniform? I hear they're going to play for us.
Behind the marching Bearcats, we have Tansley and Annabelle Shelton. Tansley and Annabelle are the daughters of Melissa and Jason Shelton out of Bernie, Missouri. I can't really read what they won, but I know they are two great young girls. I've seen them play volleyball against my daughter. My son had baseball lessons down at Bernie the other night, and I think Tansley was getting a softball pitching lesson. They're going to be great at whatever they do.
Annabelle is petite, Miss Bernie Queen, and what else she got on there? Young Miss Delta Fair Queen and the preteen Stoddard County Fair Queen. And Tansley is young Miss Bernie Queen and the junior Miss Delta Fair Queen, first alternate, and the preteen Miss New Year first alternate. Right behind her is Miss Puxico 2024, Bailey Zoll. Zoll family, that's a big Puxico name. They've been there for a long time. And right in behind there, we got a car, Autry Moreland Chevrolet Cadillac, an Equinox. It's a nice looking ride. And immediately behind that, looks like Autry's got another one in there. I don't know what kind of car that is. I never was a car person.
Got a new addition to the Stoddard County Republican Club's float this year, Mr. C.D. Stewart. I don't remember seeing his on the float last year. C.D.'s got some signs now.
I think C.D. was on there last year. He was driving the float. He said he wasn't going to be able to drive it this year. He's going to be in the rice fields cutting. I think Brent Stidham and Mr. Speakman, they reworked that float.
This is the third year in a row. I think they got your sign on the other side where we're not going to be able to see it.
Well, I think Mr. Stidham made a comment to me about that today. He called me laughing.
Sawyer Smith, he celebrated a birthday, I believe, on Monday or Sunday.
He had a birthday. I seen it on the Show Me Times. Dee Laughlin put it out there front and center. He's 33 now. Jacob Clary's our new assessor. He was appointed after Dan Craig retired. Paul Yancey, of course, he's a longtime Stoddard County Circuit Clerk. Josh Speakman will be starting his second term come November. And let's see, of course, CD, he was appointed by Governor Parsons. He's be starting his full elected term then this January, along with Wes Howard. Wes Howard will be our new commissioner from District Number 2. Certainly look forward to working with Wes.
Steve Jordan's got a nice little vehicle right behind them, pulling up the rear on the Republicans.
Steve Jordan and I worked together several years as commissioners. He was the commissioner in the northern half of the county. Of course, I've been presiding commissioner for a year or two.
And we have the third place winners from the 2023 band competition, the Puxico Marching High School Indians.
Back in the days, you go back into the late 70s, early 80s, when the Dexter Lions Club took care of the parade, the Puxico Rhythm Steppers come up here, and they won the traveling trophy year after year after year. I cannot remember the name of that band director. To save my soul, I can see his face. He's long since retired. But, man, I'm going to tell you what, when they got out on Stoddard Street, they were cutting a rug. Very impressive. Then right after the Puxico Rhythm Steppers won, then the Advance Hornet Marching Band, they came through, and then they had a long spell of winning. They had a very successful band there for several years in a row. Now, a while ago, when the Richland Rebel band came through, was that their high school band or was that their middle school? Do you remember?
It was their high school.
High school? I was wanting to try to find out if anybody from Richland was listening that might know who May Hall was. May Hall Park. Try to get some interaction there with our listening public.
Thursday night, of course, will be bracelet night down at the fairgrounds. Bracelets this year are going to be $30 a piece. Saturday night, the big boys come out for the Demolition Derby. Demolition Derby is always a big hit. It'll start at 7 p.m., $5 admission to that. They'll have bracelet afternoon on Saturday from 1 until 5 p.m. Bracelets on Saturday afternoon will be $25, $5 less than Thursday night. And the Dexter Lions Club will be making funnel cakes every evening down on the Midway. Go by and check them out. All of their money they make goes straight to Stoddard County children that need eyeglasses. We get requests every month from teachers and parents. Kids need eye appointments and glasses, and we take care of those for them, no questions asked.
The Dexter Lions Club's been a big part of the Stoddard County Fair Parade for many years. I can remember also back when we were doing the parade, we set up a hot dog stand down Stoddard Street there where my brother had his dental office. And I'm telling you, we peddled some hot dogs.
Coming up in the silver Dodge Ram, we've got A.J. Moreland. A.J. has bought the Dexter Bowling Alley and has made quite a few renovations out there. I believe it is smoke-free now. He's doing quite a bit of renovations to try and improve that facility. Total pandemonium. A.J. Moreland, once again, the new owner-operator of the Dexter Bowling Alley.
Had no idea that happened. Go out and see A.J.
Autry Moreland has quite a few vehicles in the parade tonight.
Autry Moreland has quite a few vehicles. Remember when Autry and Kelly were down on 114 where our ambulance district shed is now. They moved out on the highway, and I believe they bought that from Medler Davis, Chet Medler and Bob Davis.
Alyssa Macklin coming up. She is the Teen Miss Stoddard County second alternate. Alyssa Macklin. And behind Alyssa, we have the Sykeston J.C. Boot Hill Rodeo, Little Mr. Western, Caston Petty, and Little Miss Western, Piper Kate Reed. I believe the Castor Petty might be related to Zach. Zach Petty's a Richland boy.
Who?
Zach Petty.
Zach Petty's a Richland boy. His Aunt Marie's a year younger than me. His daddy, Danny, a couple years younger than me. Zach's grandpa was in the National Guard with my dad at Sykeston for umpteen years. Known him all my life.
Next up, we have the 2024 Miss Bernie Tatum Anthony. Tatum Anthony, 2024 Miss Bernie.
I got a text from my good friend Cheryl. She says the band director at Puxico that I was trying to remember a while ago was Mr. Lichtenegger. Remember him well. Thank you, Cheryl.
Bentley Stieferman, Puxico first runner-up, and the Dexter fourth alternate. Bentley Stieferman. Coming up, we have the marching Bell City High School Cubs.
What you might not know about Bell City and Bell City High School, they're going to have a heck of a baseball team this year, this coming 2025 baseball season. They've got some young kids coming up that can flat play. They played for the district title last year, and I think they might have played Scott City. They gave Scott City, I think that's who it was, all they wanted. Got the Asher kid, and he's young. Got a couple of other kids that are really good athletes.
Bell City's fortunate. They got Nestle Purina in their community that pays taxes to go toward that school district, and they're usually able to pay just as well as any district around as far as paying their employees and teachers.
They can. They've done very well up there. Very proud of what they've had and what they've put together for Bell City.
Hudson Jones is a tiny Mr. Stoddard County Fair Parade. Hudson Jones, tiny Mr. Stoddard County Fair. Got him an old Chevy Silverado.
Nice looking ride. They got it cleaned up, shined up. Yep, handing out water to them. They must be thirsty.
And the Little Miss Labor Day queen is Kinley Rose Griffin, right behind the Silverado.
I'm assuming if it's Miss Labor Day, that came from Advance. Advance has a big Labor Day celebration there every year, big parade, big thing in the park every year. It's very well attended, very well supported by the citizens of Advance.
Oakland Faye Ellis, the tiny Miss Stoddard County Fair, first alternate.
She's sitting tall up on that Jeep. She's a big girl. That's the first vehicle coming through from Baird.
Baird Automotive, Seth Baker, he's the general manager in Dexter, Missouri for Baird.
The Baird's got their place here in Dexter, down in Malden. They sell quite a few vehicles. A big outfit. Got a Jeep coming in behind them. Hey, what we got? Buddy's Rent to Own. Is that what that's called?
Buddy's Rent to Own, a better way to own.
Home Furnishings, no credit needed. Go out to Buddy's Home Furnishings in Dexter, and they can get you fixed up. Real quick, I'm going to do a quick shout out. Monday morning, had a bunch of people, 7:30, walking downtown Dexter at 7:30, picking up trash. They were planting mums. Alicia Trammell. Who else do we have out there?
Michael Sism.
Yeah, Ashley Miller. There were several of them. And they were getting everything all cleaned up, planting the mums, wanting everything downtown Dexter look good. Downtown Dexter Association. I know First Midwest Bank, Alm Smith, had several of those from their bank helping getting it all cleaned up. Give them a quick shout out.
Richard Hickson, Dump Trailer Services, 573-421-1630. Hickson Hauling and Development, LLC. That's a nice dump trailer.
Sure is. But when they're out dumping, they don't have those mums there on it.
All right, behind the dump trailer, we have the Farm Credit. Mr. Zabellin does a lot around the community. They sponsor quite a bit for the 4-H auction on Saturday. I believe they put up the metal building that they kind of host that live auction under. So Farm Credit does a lot in the southeast Missouri area. Saturday morning, you can go out for the 4-H and FFA livestock auction. It begins at 9 a.m. They have a buyer's breakfast that starts at 8 a.m. You're able to go out there and bid on children's animals that they've raised. A lot of times they donate the animal back to the child. The money they raise goes toward all their feeding and veterinarian bills they experience throughout the course of the year.
Raising livestock's not free. It takes money to do it. They got to be fed. They got to be watered. They got to have medical care. And these kids, they take big responsibility in doing that. It's not like having a dog or a cat that your mom and dad feed for you after you say you'll take care of it.
We got Niehaus Farms out of Dexter, Missouri. They've got an old school 2 tractors on the back of their low bed 18-wheeler.
Well, I'm trying to see his face. Who's driving that? I think me and him went to school together. I think he's a year younger than me. What's his first name? But Randy? His dad had a lot of old cars, trucks, equipment out there on their property. They like to tinker with it, restore it. Niehaus he's been involved with it, one driving the truck all of his life. No telling how old that tractor is he has. It looks like something Mark Geatley would own and currently uses.
Our next queen we're going to have is Riley K. Short. She's the Stoddard County Fair Teen Miss first alternate.
That green tractor there right behind Niehaus, is that Johnny Dowdy on that thing?
That is Mr. Dowdy driving the green tractor.
He's been on a tractor in this parade for as long as I can remember.
The 2024 Little Miss Bernie is Ellie Stevens. She's in the white Tahoe. And right behind Ellie, we have Weston Drake Rogers, second alternate, baby Mr. Stoddard County. And right behind them, we have Raylan Williams, little Mr. Stoddard County Fair 2024, and Amelia Williams, the 2024 Young Miss Stoddard County Fair second alternate. Walker Towing in Bernie, Missouri. They've upgraded their equipment every year, I believe, at the parade. They've got a nice truck, nice lights in there tonight. They are probably one of the hardest working towing units around Southeast Missouri.
Well, as I think I've told this story before, I think I had a truck got stolen here at the funeral home one morning, whatever. I left the keys in it and needing somebody to go retrieve it for me at Sykeston on a Saturday afternoon. Them boys went over there and they took care of me. I know Saturday afternoon, there's probably something you'd rather do than going over and picking up a truck somebody left the keys in that got stolen, but they did it, took care of me. I appreciated that when it happened.
Right behind them, looks like we have Scooter's Coffee. Scooter's just opened up in Dexter. They've probably been operating for a little over a year now. They're on the north side of Business 60. They're usually crowded in the mornings when I go by around 7:45, 8 o'clock. They've got a line in the drive-thru.
And they got a girl out there now that stands out there that I went by the other day. She's taking orders, trying to help speed up the process. It goes quickly. Girls are always friendly and take your order and say, scoot around. Ezekiel's Closet, if I remember right, last year I was trying to figure out what they were, but they provide clothing for children that might need a little help, need a coat or a jacket here, there, whatever. They do a wonderful service to the people here in Stoddard County for the kids that are in need.
Right behind Ezekiel's Closet is Ezekiel John Mosby. He's the 2023 baby Mr. Harvest King, along with a couple other awards. It's a big trophy he's got on the back of that truck.
Well, somebody riddle me this, Batman. We got all these Jeeps driving around town, and they've got ducks up on their dash. What does that mean? I've been trying to figure that out, and I haven't found out. These people here have got ducks on their Jeep dash.
It's just a Jeep thing. Their sign says, keep on quacking, hashtag duck, duck, Jeep. Pass on a smile today. It's a Delta Realty Incorporated vehicle. Now, if you got a Jeep, the rubber duckies are the thing. You see a Jeep parked in the Walmart parking lot. You just go put a Jeep on their hood, and then they put it in there on their dash.
Huh.
That's what Gavin Miller told me.
Well, I've been wondering that. I've been seeing more and more of them. Some of them's going to have to get a bigger dash. They got plenty of Jeeps.
And I'm glad we're able to see a lot of our local farmers out tonight. I see my buddy Taylor Pyle over there. I think it's your house maybe. A lot of the farmers got done with corn harvest early this year. It was a dry latter part of the summer, and their corn was able to dry out there in the field, and they were able to start harvesting. Bean harvest is started for some and getting ready to start for others.
The rice farmers, they're cutting. They had been a little wet for them after the rain we had this weekend, and it takes them a little longer to get their crop out. CD said they go about 2 or 3 miles an hour. It's a slow process. They're getting it out and they're working on it.
I know the $3 corn ain't nothing to write home about, but I believe they had a pretty good year as far as rain went when they were planting, and then dried off there at the end so they could get it out.
Yeah, my good friend Darrell Pyle, this is the first year he set out to farm harvest. He had hip surgery the other day, and I tell you what, he'd much rather been out there driving the buggy as he was sitting at home.
Coming up behind all of our ducks, we're going to have the Central Gardens Residential Care Facility in Dexter. Their float looks like they're bopping around to the 1950s.
Central Gardens always puts a nice float in. They have quite a facility there. We're very fortunate to have it here in Dexter. I know my father was out there for a while. They were very accommodating to us while Dad was resident there. The old Central School. Back in the day, you had Central School for the elementary and Southwest School for the elementary, and you always had a clash of who was where. Oh, you went Central. No, you went Southwest.
Where'd you go?
I went Southwest. Mom and Dad moved to town in '62. We were just a couple of blocks from Southwest School.
We were looking at some pictures the other day. They moved Central Schools to the new Central School in one weekend.
Yes, they did. Your brother was out there. He was the first group to get out of Central. I guess that was 5th grade. I remember each teacher had got some parents together, and we got some trailers, and we loaded desks, everything that was needed to go. We took it out there, loaded it, unloaded it, and had it set up and ready to go.
Well, I think Dr. Waddle was out there then, and they told each teacher, they said, you're responsible for your own classroom, and they got the help, and they got it done.
That's exactly what happened. No, I can remember we had good weather that day when we made the move.
Stoddard County Fair Queen, Heidi Harris. Little Miss Stoddard County Fair Queen, Heidi, in the AT4 heavy-duty GMC. Right behind Heidi, we have Jocelyn McGowan. Jocelyn is the 2024 Junior Miss Bernie and the 2024 Teen Miss Stoddard County Fair. Behind Jocelyn in the Ranger, we're going to have Elena Spence. She's the Tiny Miss Back to School Royal Queen. Waylon Isaac, the baby Mr. King. And behind them, we've got Smith Payne Realty.
You know, I always think the Stoddard County Fair Parade is the kickoff for fall, and we'll start getting some cooler temperatures. Won't be long. We'll be wearing jackets out at the football games, going to volleyball, cross country. I've seen my first turtle crossing the highway today. So I know winter and fall's right around the corner.
I see Connie Smith walking along her truck out there in the parade. Connie is a local realtor for Smith Payne. She does a good job selling real estate all across southeast Missouri.
Connie was a Gaines. She's a few years behind me in school. She had a sister my age. Janice. Me and Jana, her sister, went to school through, well, from 1st grade on. Graduated together.
U.S. Bank right behind Smith Payne Realty. They're passing out candy. Behind them is St. Francis. And then we have the Dexter Medical Center, operated by Poplar Bluff Regional.
Dexter's fortunate with what we have with medical care. Got St. Francis, got Mercy, got Dexter Medical Group from Poplar Bluff Regional. Well taken care of. I could get on my soapbox, but I won't.
VNA is making waves. Let us help you adapt to life. Changing tides.
Visiting Nurses Association.
First dog I've seen of the evening. Looks like a nice golden retriever. And VNA has a nice looking float.
Yes, they do. VNA, they do in-care help, keep people out of nursing facilities, hospital, send people in to help clean, cook, do what needs to be done. They provide a hospice service. They're very well spread out in southeast Missouri with medical care and services they provide for the elderly and those in need.
Looks like they're even pulling a tube off the boat.
Well, that's what I was trying to see what's going. That's on some kind of rollers.
VNA also has the Beach Boys playing.
They do. And the boat's for sale. You can call 820-5300.
I wish they all could be California.
JT Electric, they've got a Ranger. I don't know. Is that a Ranger? What is it?
It's a side-by-side. I can't tell who makes it.
All right. Right in behind JT Electric, we have Lanny Kincaid, 2024 Tiny Miss Stoddard
County, fourth alternate.
Fourth alternate. Got somebody else on there with her. Tiny Mr. Stoddard County, third alternate.
Yeah, they wrote that in some type of neon marker.
Yeah. Beckley Henson.
Right behind them, we have the Footsteps Medical Mission. Footsteps goes all across the world with a medical mission team that they have. Kind of operate out of First Baptist Church, but that's Dr. Rick Wers. When my wife and I were flying into Miami, we saw his team. They were coming back into Miami from, I think, Nicaragua.
I think that's where they came from.
Saw them. We had a layover, and it was kind of cool. They had about 15 to 20 people with them, but Rick and his wife are real good about flying into these places and giving kids and adults medical care and also trying to spread the gospel to them.
Rick Wers and his group at Footsteps Medical Missions do a wonderful work. They do. They occasionally have some fundraising lunches, dinners, breakfast, whatever here in the area. And where there's a need, they go. They don't hesitate. I know when we had the tornado there in Mayfield, they were boots on the ground. They were one of the first groups there seeing what they could do to help. So it's just not going abroad. They'll stay here and help locally as well.
Family Matters Adult Daycare Center. They have a nice float.
You know, that's something that is really needed in all towns, Family Matters, where you have an elderly parent, an elderly son, whatever, where needs some care, where the parent, the child, or whatever can go and work. And then they've got a structured environment for that individual to be in, safe, and, they're getting the care they need. And then it allows the family to go ahead and function as a unit to do what they need to do to work and be able to pay their bills. And then, like I said, they know where their loved one's at, being taken care of well.
See a lot of hay bales tonight. I wonder if they got those from our good friends, the Boyers. Boyers have hay bales you can go get from them out there just west of Dexter, $4.50 a bale. We've got 44 from them the other day as we planted the Elks baseball outfielding grass. Eric and Chuck and Luke now, good people.
Chuck was another Ameren employee that worked with my dad.
I didn't know he worked there.
Oh, yeah. He was working there. He was their warehouseman. I think he started out in Cape and then got on at, they had an opening at Dexter and he moved into that. And of course, Eric came right in behind him and got on with Ameren.
Boats are a popular theme tonight.
Yes, they
It's
are.
the second or third boat we've had come through. Once again, gates open down there on the Midway this week at 5 p.m. Adult admission, $5 a night. Kids 6 and under are free. On Saturday, the gates will open at 12 and rides will begin at 1. Tonight, we're going to have in Arena A the FFA/4-H Tractor Rodeo. And then entertainment on the main stage at 7 is brought to you by Keyed Up. Tomorrow night, Wednesday night's church night. Entertainment on the main stage will start at 7 p.m. and that will be brought to you by the Assembly Youth Workshop.
Boats must be the theme tonight. We got another boat. It's got some waves crashing in and on it. Who are they?
I tried to read a shirt and I could not make it out.
They got quite a group of kids. Look like young people, young adults. See if I know any of them. I can't make out their shirts either. That brother Tim?
Yeah, I think it is. Mr. Peterson thinks it's the lighthouse as well.
Okay.
Yeah, there's Esther right there.
Brother Tim Russell, he must be the commandant. He's the captain of the ship.
Tim Russell does a heck of a lot around the area. You can always find him giving something out, finding somebody in need. He does a lot. You want to talk about somebody that provides, whether it's food, ministry, addiction help, dental care. You know, their dental care that they have maybe once a month that him and Dr. Kane kind of got together is really state of the art, groundbreaking, first of its kind in the nation as far as that goes. I don't know how many thousands of people they've helped, but they've helped a lot.
People have no idea what they do out there. They truly don't when it comes to dental care. It's absolutely amazing what the Lighthouse Church and my good friend Dr. Bill Kane have come together, partnered, and they're getting ready to build a facility that's going to be absolutely mind-blowing. I'm going to throw one other thing out at you. The Stoddard County Fair Board would like to help in supporting the local food bank at the Stoddard County Gospel Mission. You will receive one coupon for each box of macaroni and cheese, limit 6, brought to the fairgrounds on Wednesday night, September 18th from 5 to 8 at both gates. So that's Wednesday night, September 18th from 5 to 8. Bring a box of mac and cheese and you're going to get a free ticket for a ride out there, limit 6. Sounds like a real good deal. I know Kim Slavings, she does a heck of a job with that. Her mother ran that before her at the Gospel Rescue Mission. That's another thing that people that do a tremendous help here in Stoddard County.
BA Promotions, Tracy Christian and BA, they will provide for pretty much all the area park and recreation activities and high school athletic sporting groups. We just got some pullovers from Tracy and her gang last week. They look great. We ordered a couple more to give out.
Looks like the kids across the way have got a sack full of candy.
Yeah, keep wanting to yell at them, tell them to get out of the road, especially when that 18-wheeler was coming by. Fitness Connection.
Fitness Connection's been in town for a while now.
Is that Henty, Keith Henty?
I don't know. I really
I'm
don't.
looking it up on Facebook right now. Fitness Connections float, I believe, has got the music playing. I need somebody to love me. Right behind Fitness Connection, we have, looks like maybe an FFA group. Their sign's on the back of their float, I think. I won't be able to see it until they pass us. First tractor of the evening coming up, Baker Implement, located on 114 just east of Dexter. Baker's been around for a while. Got Baker and John Deere both down there on 114. And once again, Aycorp Sports is going to be in Portageville on Friday night as the Scott City Rams come to the Bulldogs to play. You can catch that broadcast starting about 6:45, 6:50. Then the following week will be the game of the year as far as the regular season goes, as Southern Boone comes to Dexter, Missouri to take on the Bearcats. They're both ranked right now in Class 4 football. Dexter Bearcats have got off to a hot start. They are 3-0, and you can listen to Jim Riker and Bobby Alford call that game. I was wrong about thinking that was an FFA float. Looks like that was Harp's float. Harp's located on Business 60 in Dexter, Missouri. They have a nice little store side by side with Ace Hardware.
Where are we at? We got Tractor-a-thon coming in through.
Now we got Baker Implement right now. Harp's had a nice little float you just missed. And looks like Cricket Wireless coming up behind Baker Implement.
You know, Stoddard County is really blessed with a lot of good communities. I talk about individual towns with their government, the mayor, alderman. We're awfully blessed with our elected officials within Stoddard County government itself. And then we've always been fortunate with the people we've had representing us in Jefferson City. Obviously, I've had an opportunity to get to know a bunch of them. I know that everyone tries to do the right thing. And you know, sometimes when you run for office, you don't get the credit that you deserve. I'm kind of blowing off here for a minute, but just kind of a shout out to those who do take the opportunity to put their name and run for office. That includes people in the Board of Education, water districts, things like that. Not everybody wants to be a part of it, but you ought to be thankful for people who do. And that's my 2 cents worth on Stoddard County elected officials.
Girl Scouts is a worldwide sisterhood. They've got a little float they're operating out of. American flag, seen a lot of those tonight. Southeast Missouri is very patriotic.
Stoddard County is very patriotic.
I'm looking forward to the Busy Bee float. Haven't seen that one yet.
No, Sam always usually comes through with one. There we go. Got Cal-Maine Foods. For those of you who don't know, they are getting ready to make a major footprint in Stoddard County. Dexter, they bought the old Tyson building. They're going to start processing eggs. They're going to have an initial hiring, I think, of around 90 people. They've got boots on the ground down there already, retrofitting that plant. And, they're not going to hire as many people as what Tyson did, but we're awful blessed that they have come in and giving Dexter a look. I know Alicia Trammell, she had a big part of that. Dexter Chamber of Commerce, Dexter Economic Development. Can't say enough about the work that she does, not only for Dexter, but for Stoddard County itself. And, they're retrofitting these chicken houses that our chicken farmers had when they were raising chickens for Tyson. And she's looking into opportunities maybe for them to get some grants help with that retrofitting. It's not a cheap process to do that and get them ready to go. And she's on the ball. Alessia is really trying to help farmers and those in Stoddard County. Thank you, Cal-Maine Foods, for making a presence here.
Right behind Cal-Maine Foods, we're going to have Southern FS. Southern FS bought out Boot Hill Petroleum about 6 or 7 years ago, and they just opened their new facility just east of town, right behind the Lighthouse Church, kind of.
They've got quite a facility down there they built. Big outfit. They supply a lot of propane, a lot of diesel to our farming agriculture community. And agriculture is the economic driver for Stoddard County. We're very fortunate with the farmers we have, the job they do, the dedication. Get a little bit of a breeze blowing. It's really turned into a nice evening.
It's been a nice night down here. It started off about 85 today is the high, and we've cooled off probably upper 70s now. Once again, Thursday night down at the Midway is going to be bracelet night. Bracelets will be $30 each. That'll be from 5:30 to 10:30. Saturday night, the big boys come out for the Demolition Derby. That's going to start at 7 at Arena A, $5 admission. Demo Derby is always a nice event they have. It's always a pretty good one. It's not going to rain any, so the track should be fast. The Dexter Fire Department will be down there to wet it down a little bit and be there in case anything happens. But the Demolition Derby is always a crowd pleaser down at the Midway.
Demolition Derby's a big draw. The drivers can get their tempers heated. I've seen that a time or two down there.
I saw Kenny Pope throw off his helmet one night and throw it at somebody. We had a good laugh about that. I think I was probably 19 or 20 years old.
Kenny never had a temper to do anything like that.
He enjoys the racing and the derbies.
I think Kenton, he's getting eat up with the.
Kenton's a car driver.
He's a car driver now.
AMP Motorsports. Go check them out on Facebook. They race. They go all around the Midwest really and race.
They got a new driver this year, T-Mez or whatever.
T-Mez YouTube, T-Mez Racing. Kent and Drexler do a good job of setting that car up for him.
The boy's doing something he always wanted to be a part of.
Belinda and Emma Kate Worley. Emma is one of Rocky the Raiders this year over there at Three Rivers. I think she just got done walking in the parade.
Yeah, Emma, she just happens to be walking down in front of us right now where we're watching Woody's tree removal go past. Emma graduated from high school last year, and like I said, she's the mascot for Three Rivers now, Rocky the Raider. She's very talented. I went out and seen her do involved in several plays that the DHS drama department put on. Who's that? What's the name?
Right behind Woody's, we've got 95.5 The Bone. They operate out of Poplar Bluff, Missouri. A little classic alternative rock group. Then 94.5 Best Country. Woody's, as they go by, they had a nice little, they were in Dexter quite a bit, doing a lot of cleanup and removal from that storm we had back in the summertime. They brought in tons of trucks, and they could get in and get out quick.
The city of Dexter did a heck of a job on getting Dexter cleaned up from that. They wasted no time. They went right after it. You said it. We had trucks in from all over, Woody's being one of them. Woody did some work down the street from us here and watched them take down some trees. And they got Dexter up and going, cleaned up pretty fast.
There's Dexter FFA chapter. I see one of the Geiling kids sitting on this side of the float. Dexter FFA is a pretty big group. Of course, all these FFAs in Stoddard County are going to have good attendance. They're always going doing something. They do a lawnmower sharpening and blade sharpening and oil change. They start that off in March or April. That's a nice little thing our ag director started in Dexter.
They all got their shades on. Remember John Bryant? He was agriculture man out at high school back in 70s, 60s. Very instrumental in Dexter FFA back when I was a kid growing up in Dexter. Good man.
I want to say this is quite a bit longer than what we had last year.
Well, we're already at the hour.
We started at 5:25.
Yeah, we're at the hour 11-minute mark. Give a big shout out to our technical crew here tonight. Tori Peterson. What's the young man's name next to him?
Spencer.
Spencer. I thought Spencer was with us last year. I thought he was from Risco, but he tells me no, he's moving out to East Prairie.
The big metropolis.
Said next year he might find his way to Charleston or Sykeston.
We've got another float coming up, and it's going to be, looks like Jerry K. Brown, Custom Wagons, is pulling it. John 3:16, it is the New Bethel General Baptist Church out there on State Highway AF.
And Jerry Brown has been building trailers for 40-something years. He had a heating and air conditioning service for a long time, and I don't remember how he got into the trailer business, but he ships them things all over the United States. Like him and Dale Moreland, they got into mules and etc., whatever. But Jerry Brown is well known. Looks like we got a group of people going to eat chili tonight at the house afterwards. We've been having a chili supper at the house for a group of people for about the last 35 years.
Mom said she started that, so you all didn't have to take me down to the fair on Tuesday night.
I think that's what we started it. When we were living in the old house and remodeling, we decided to do it then. Just had a ceiling and floors, and we put up tables and started making chili and potato soup, and we've kept it up ever since.
About 40 or 50 families would be disappointed if she ever stopped that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we've had our kids and our friends, and then now we're into grandkids, and your all's friends and their kids, and it's grown.
Crossroads ISL LLC and Breaking Boundaries has our next float, calling all superheroes. They are breaking boundaries. And finally, coming up behind them, we have Bob's Toolbox. Good friend Sam Gardner, class of 2004 graduate. Sam told me that they have had a parade, float in the parade every year since he was a kid. And Bob's Toolbox is a shout out to his grandpa, Mr. Bob Gardner. Busy Bee does a lot to support the area. And Sam's is normally always patriotic themed.
I remember when Bob and the Burleson boys, they started that thing out there. Uh, Mr. Burleson told me one time that he said they had a load of sheetrock come in. He said they unloaded that truck by hand, and he said it was next time they got a load of sheetrock in, they had a front end loader there to do it. What do you call them things with the prongs out front?
Forklift?
Forklift. He said they had them a forklift next time. He said they was all young men. He said it just absolutely wore them out.
Sam's float says Busy Bee Lumber making America great since 1969. If you go to Busy Bee's, I think it's Busy Bee's Facebook page.
Yeah, I'd have been about 12 years old when they opened that.
He's got a video of the float on there, and it's got Donald Trump's voice saying it's the greatest float ever. It's the most extravagant float I've ever seen. It's going to be first place. Thought that was funny. Go take a look at Sam's video and check that out.
They got plenty of garners down there, but they're just fortunate they got Robert there to look over and make sure everything runs good. Got their insignia hammer right behind Bob's toolbox. You know, Sam came up and helped us with the Dexter Christmas reading, building our manger last year.
Yeah, he was a big help.
He had that thing. He brought the equipment, the tools, the screws, and lumber, and we had that thing whipped out in no time. I sat back and watched.
Yep, Bobby and Alex working, passing out candy.
Sam's parents are big pickleball players, very competitive, but also very good. I hear a lot of things about the pickleball community.
They had a pickleball camp today here in Dexter down there at St. Francis Health. Tony Pyle brought in a gentleman from Jackson to do a little pickleball practice. Following Busy Bee, we got Memory Lane, another nursing facility we have here in Dexter. The Vansel family took over the old
I call it the old Como Clinic from back in the 60s, 70s, and it's had several names since then. Remember when Doc Como had that thing? Few people would remember that. They've turned it into, it's more geared for people that's got maybe dementia, some Alzheimer's, and it's something definitely needed within our community. Such terrible, terrible disease.
Now, what they went in and remodeled that and got it looking pretty nice on the inside now.
They didn't just remodel it, they gutted it. I don't know who that kid is right out in front of their van. He leaned over to pick up some candy. I'm glad they seen him. Yeah, no, we're about streetlights might come on before this thing's all said and done.
Bruce Jones Construction coming up. Bruce does a lot of work in and around town. I believe he got his private pilot license from Mr. Joe Rice.
Yeah. Oh, Joe, he's taught a lot of people to fly.
Yep. And Sam Garner, actually, I think, I don't know if Joe did him or not, but Sam just took his test the other day, did his solo flight.
Joe don't have a float in the parade. We're giving him a shout out. He's a former employee at Mathis Funeral Home. He worked with us for a couple of years. His true love was flying.
Joe just needs to send his check for advertisement to Aycorp Media down there in Malden.
He likes to go to Mississippi State football. His wife Macy's a Bulldog alumni. What do they call it? The state?
Heil State.
Okay. I was Three Rivers alumni myself.
I'm a product of junior college as well, St. Louis Community College at Forest Park. Community college, really better for most people than it is not. Go 2 years of college and get what you need and get out and start working. You don't have a big debt when you get out. My brother got his doctorate, 12 years of school. I don't think I can handle that.
Remember, you wore your duck hunting coat up there to St. Louis there at Forest Park. You're probably the only person that had a duck hunting coat in that school.
Probably.
Robert's Auto Towing. Robert does quite a business here in Stoddard County. Call Robert Finch. He'll take care of you. Good person. He's got a good business he's built up.
I see our Dexter Police Chief, Mr. Hank Trout, down there talking to Brad Hessling. Hank walking up and down Stoddard Street. Him and his wife just got back from a nice vacation out in Arizona.
They did.
They did.
Well, Dexter's been very good to out-of-towners. You know, we got a Richland graduate, our city administrator. We got a Bernie graduate, our chief of police. We always look to the outside the box to find good Stoddard County talent to bring in. What you don't know about Hank is back when he was a high school player for the Mules.
He hated Dexter.
Well, there's not very many people down at Bernie that's going to say anything good about Dexter when it comes to basketball. I can remember we had a service down at Bernie one night. R.B. Woods was the mayor, and Dexter was playing at Bernie. I made an off-the-cuff comment to Mayor Woods about the game, and RB eat me up one side and down the other. Well.
See the gun room coming up. Adam and Brittany Sweeney operate that down on Stoddard Street, down on the east end of Stoddard Street. Adam and Brittany were both graduates of Dexter High School and moved off for a little bit and came back home. Adam has a nice gun collection down there. If he doesn't have something you're looking for, just tell him what you're wanting, and he will source it for you.
I said it once, I've said it twice. Stoddard County loves their guns. Do they not, Tori? Absolutely. And he'll take care of you. Anyway, getting back to Hank Trout real quick. When he was in high school, he played basketball. They called him the hole. Once he got the ball down inside, it never came back out. He shot it.
Hopefully Barb, his mother's not watching tonight.
Well, Hank's mama's boy. Barb ran a restaurant down in Bernie for a long time. You talk about somebody who can cook some food. Barb could put it out.
Hank's brother Mark, he might be watching tonight.
Yeah, he's in Washington, D.C., member of the Secret Service.
Secret Service agent.
Years ago when he came on, he was part of President Obama and Vice President Biden's team. You know, we have several people from Stoddard County that's been very successful in the Secret Service. Got to be a part of history, see things, that other people don't get to see.
Nick
behind
Smith.
The scenes.
Yeah, Nick Smith, he was a couple years older than me. He was a Secret Service employee for many years.
Yep. It's not a lifestyle for anybody. I mean, for everybody, it's a tough way to make a living. You're on the go 24 hours a day. It's not much of an opportunity to have a family.
And we've got Forcia coming up. Forcia took over Arvin's several years ago.
Forcia. I can remember when they were building that building, we had motorcycles, and we just lived south of there, and we'd go ride them through the plant when they were building, and the security people would come and chase us out.
Wilder Brown built that building, didn't he?
I
think he did.
Don't know. I can remember doing driver's education when they was building that Forcia, Arvin at the time, and that wall collapsed.
Coach Wade?
No, Coach Hall.
Coach Hall, driver education teacher.
He was the driver education teacher. Me and Karen McGuire and Ronnie Middleton had driver's ed together with Coach Hall. Was doing it over on the Fram parking lot. Then I believe Coach Wade came in and took over that. Coach Wade came in when I was a sophomore out at high school.
Savannah Morris, Poplar Bluff Realty. She's a real estate agent. Then we have the Bloomfield National FFA organization.
They've got a pretty good crowd in their FFA club organization.
Hunt for FFA pride. They've got their camouflage on. Looks like they're in a duck blind.
I wonder if they still wear the blue coats, that FFA on them.
I think they do. They're sponsored by Farm Credit.
What was that? The owl, the sun, and the plow? The plow, the sun, and the owl? Something had to that effect on their insignia. I'm sure somebody out there remembers what I'm talking about. I never was in FFA, so. Boy, he's been doing excavation work for a long time. That well, you got Kevin's who I'm talking about. In the front of it's got his grandson Reed Mullen. Reed's driving with Grandpa. I can remember when Kevin was in high school. Now he's got a grandson.
Got a drone coming up. Simo something, my good friend Taylor Pyle, getting into the drone business. He's going to start flying and spraying their crops this year. That's a popular thing now for farmers. Get a drone, and you can get into spray your fields that are wet or hard to get to. Don't have to rut it up.
I've never seen one of those before. The drones before that they use for flying. That's quite a rig.
He said they'll fly for about 6 minutes and then got to come back and fill back up. But he said it's a pretty feasible economic option for farmers.
What we got coming up behind them? Forgive that person today. Mark 11, 25 through 26. Trying to read a shirt there and see who they come from. High five. Hugs Land? Don't harden your heart. That's tough to do sometimes. Forgiving and forgetting.
Easier said than done. Got a long memory sometimes.
Well, it's easier to forgive than forget. Just being honest. We have coming in behind them. Well, we got a grassroots tent revival coming up. I've seen that on Facebook. Heck, Mr. Rosher, I've seen that on his Facebook time or two. I forgot where it's going to be held at, but you can Google that and it'll come up on Facebook.
That the one with Derek Mays?
I don't remember. I just remember Rosher, and he's a part of it, if I'm not mistaken. And they've got a start date, but they don't have an ending date on it. They said it'll go till they feel like it's ran its course. Got a lot of young people involved in that.
Flying A, coaches and trailers, their mobile parts and service. Don't know where they're out of.
Got a phone number on them, 222.
It's got 800 to begin with.
Oh, yeah. Coaches and trailers, flyingmotorsports.com. And I don't know the people in the truck. Got those horses coming up, trailers. I bet Jerry Brown's built them.
They offer a fantastic selection of new and pre-owned race trailers, custom trailers, motor coaches, toter homes, car haulers, cargo trailers, and many other things. They're out of, looks like Cape Girardeau, Scott City, actually.
Flying A.
And we have the horse teams bringing up the rear.
Look like we're about to wind her down. Got the horses, the trailers, the side-by-sides, and extra PD.
Next thing you know, the street department will be coming through, blowing all the trash in the center of the road, and then picking everything up. In about 3 hours, you won't even be able to tell that we had a parade come down Stoddard Street.
That's no lie. They've got their blowers, and they blow that stuff to the middle. Sweet Sweeper will be out here cleaning it up. City of Dexter does a wonderful job. Can't say enough about the street department, water department, police department. Very fortunate people that we have operating here in the city of Dexter.
Well, once again, this has been the 97th Stoddard County Fair Parade. You all get a chance to go down to the Midway down there on the east side of Dexter at the fairgrounds this week. They'll be down there Tuesday through Saturday. Saturday morning will be the FFA livestock auction. Go check that out. But we appreciate you all coming and joining us for the parade tonight, and want to thank Aycorp Media for bringing it to you. Once again, for Greg Mathis, I'm Aaron Mathis, and we will see you all again next year for the 98th Stoddard County Fair Parade. Good night and God bless.